If you look at each employee or each team member like a customer, it will change your business overnight. So you have to sell your team members every single day on why you are the best person to be leading them and why they shouldn't just go fuck off and build their own business. And the best way to do that is by having marketing to everybody is marketing to nobody. Marketing to one person is marketing to everybody. Make sure that one person you market to, all the people that are below them that you could still sell to, want to be like them. The true masculine is mission driven, but it also, you will live at your edge. And if you're not living at your edge, you're going to become a fucking lazy couch potato that spends all day jerking off watching porn. Do not let yourself do that. If there's one thing I can tell you as somebody who's done what I've done, is that if you put yourself at your edge and you feel like you're going to die, you never will. There's this intrinsic fucking motivation that's like biologically coded into you that means you will not die no matter what happens. Always figure it out. When I first started this, it scared the fuck out of me. Every fucking day was the worst anxiety that I've ever had. I took a leap of faith, I cut my entire old life off, and I started from scratch again, and that was fucking scary. Put myself in a sink or swim situation, figured it out, and then did it again, and then did it again, and then did it again. And now I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times down through the path of being able to swim. And my brain, whether there's confirmation bias or not, has now come to terms with the fact that every time I'm uncomfortable, I will figure it out. I'll probably end up in a 10 times better spot than I was before.
Noah Kent, welcome to the call.
They call today. How's it going, everybody? All new faces. Last time I was on one of these calls, I don't think I remember seeing a single one of you. All right, Stefan, are you co-hosting this with me today or what?
This is all you. This is all you. You get your chance to give a fucking masterclass and tell people how to make a fuck ton of money while being a G in the process. Okay?
Cool.
Noah, I did you a bit of a disservice. I selfishly didn't know every cool thing about you yet. So I take full accountability. But okay, he's scaled multiple fucking companies. This guy's been in business longer than I've been born, probably. Okay, even though he's like what? You're what? A year old?
Yeah, I'm 22.
And this guy's track record is absolutely incredible, like next level. So why don't you kind of share pump up your chest a little bit, rightfully so, and then.
Cool. I'm probably gonna say some controversial shit that's gonna piss a lot of people off today, but I'll do that when I answer your questions, and hold it over my head or not. It's what I like to do. Yeah, a bit of background on myself. Kind of running freelance entrepreneurial stuff since I was 14 years old, 15. Kind of rolled that into agencies, scaling multiple businesses, using front-end lead gen systems. So what we do now and what we specialize in is scaling demand for businesses by generating leads on the front end, running ads, building funnels, closing leads. So everything from lead in to lead out, which would include sales as well. Track record, made my first million at 19. Scaled my first 8-figure business when I was 20. And since then, we now have a holdco that runs 4 different businesses, all of which are doing between 7 and 8-figure a year run rates. So we have a team of 30 guys across the world that we use in tandem with RSC's team to consult and also deliver services for business owners like yourselves. Yeah, any questions you guys have, whether that's scaling and managing teams of 100 people plus, whether that's how to take a business from 0 to an 8-figure year run rate in under 12 months, whether that is sales or something a little bit more personal, like how to be an absolute boss and fuck a lot of girls and have a lot of fun. I'm happy to talk about all of it.
I'll ask a question.
Go for it.
Leadership question. So like the last 2 months I've been building my team of 10 people total, which is like all new to me. So like I've been a relatively good leader to myself, but leading other people is something that's new. So if you could give me one piece of advice for better buy-in for the team, better overall, rapport, team environment, what would you suggest?
Tell me about your culture right now.
So I have multiple people. My biggest side of my team is people doing cold calls, right? I have 7 people there. I have 2 people doing DM outreach, and then I have 1 person doing like handling email. And the guys that are doing, they're all like relatively similar to myself. I'm 21. They're all, some people are in school, some people are a little bit older. They all have ambitions to have their own agency one day, but they're all doing really well. We have good, like we can bullshit with each other. We can cuss at each other, make fun of each other. So it's a good vibe, good team environment. Results aren't the greatest at the moment. So that's kind of where I'm looking to, see improvement.
Where do you think that lack of results is coming from? Do you think it's like buy-in, effort, or skill? Or
I think it's probably could be a combination. I think there's buy-in. but I think just them actually, doing it. I mean, like I said, it's been about 2 months of me building the team. I have a lot of moving parts, ad campaigns, stuff like that. So a lot of things that I'm focusing on. So like personally, as like the guy on the top, I'm a little stressed out with like moving parts. So I even told people today, I was like, hey, I apologize for the last week. I've been traveling. I feel like a shitty leader. So I apologize for that. Is there anything that I could be doing better on you guys? I feel like I haven't been there. Like with the cold call guys, I used to do cold calling myself. Um, I want to join those calls. I want to do the blocks with them. And I feel like if we did that, if we all had we'd see a lot better performance. So I
You had a
think
group
it's
session
just,
for feedback, mainly about how you can be a better leader. Is that what you're talking about?
well, group session for feedback, but I'm talking about for my cold call team, doing a group session. Like we have calls every day with the actual team, but actually joining those calls, doing like an hour call session with them. Everybody meets their thing. We're on Zoom and we're making our cold calls, and just come in when we have something booked a call or whatever.
Across the team as a whole, or mainly on the sales side?
Sales side.
Cool. So things that I had to learn the hard way was managing teams and getting teams has a lot less to do with the skill set of the people that you work with and a lot more to do with how aligned they are with you and the company. And the best, if you look at each employee or each team member like a customer, it will change your business overnight. So you have to sell your team members every single day on why you are the best person to be leading them and why they shouldn't just go fuck off and build their own business. And the best way to do that is by having regular weekly recurring meetings with them, one-on-ones, 15 minutes. We call them MTO3s. When we onboard, like this whole process for getting good results with team members starts from before you even hire them. So like on a hiring call or a screening call, the first thing I'm going to say to them is, you are going to hate your job with us because of these reasons. I'm going to push you to work 14 hours a day. Our team all does it, and we expect the same of everybody that's a part of it. I expect you to carry the boats. I expect you to be a mini CEO in your role. That's just what's required of this company. If you do that with us today, you're going to be in a really great spot. Here's a little bit more about myself. Do you still want to have this call? So disqualify them the same way you disqualify leads. They will come into your organization with a completely different concept. If they come in and you're like, oh yeah, like it's going to be a great job. Here's your compensation. It's super comfortable. You're going to have a great time. They're going to act like it's just a layup and they're not going to really work extra. Everybody in our team that I've ever hired recently comes in, taking calls at 4 in the fucking morning, setting calls at 4 in the morning, closing deals at 4 in the morning. 2 years ago, they wouldn't even work past 5. So you got to disqualify your talent before they even start working with you. Number 2, when you hire them, set those expectations. Make sure that when they come in, they see the team grinding. If they come in and they're the only one who's working hard, they're not going to work very hard either. And then as soon as they come onto your team, monthly performance target setting. So the way that our system works is every month on a recurring basis, we have a 30-minute meeting. We'll go over a couple of things. It's all about feedback for us. So I'll get into the call with them. I sent a document in here called the Mokri method. This guy's a savage. He works as a consultant for CEOs, everybody from OpenAI all the way through to some of the other largest tech companies in the world. He's amazing when it comes to setting up systems for receiving feedback and putting employees on the right track for success. So monthly feedback session and target setting session. The goal of this meeting is to figure out how you can improve as a leader, and you can come into it just being super aggressive, being like, I absolutely fucking sucked at this month. Where else can we help support you better? And what are you unhappy about internally with our systems, our culture, your growth trajectory? Then we get on to talking about life satisfaction, work satisfaction, scale of 1 to 10. Tell me why, and roast the shit out of me as you're going to be better for you. And then from there, at the very end, it's, as a leader, here's some feedback I have for you, and you can get a little bit better. And then you set a performance plan for the month. Then for the month, 15-minute sessions for the remaining 3 weeks. You get on the phone with 10 minutes about anything they want. Get on the phone and be like, how's your day? First 10 minutes, you run this call. You can tell me I'm an asshole, you want to marry me, or you want to work for me for the rest of your bother me, or we can spend the time talking about it's all good. They will usually bring up exactly what's in their mind if you can establish the right culture. For example, this week on Wednesday, I had 10 MTO3s back to back, 15 seconds with our team. I uncovered over 30 different things that we can improve inside of our business on a day-to-day basis that would motivate our team to work harder. I implemented those that night with our team. And today we've got guys calling at 4 a.m. Those are the things that need to happen. So yeah, you can lead by example. You can try and set the right culture, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to selling your employees like your team, or selling your employees like your customers. And that comes down to aligning where they want to be in 5 years with where they're currently at and establishing that progress plan. That is, does that answer your question?
Bro, I don't think I could have had any other way to answer that question better.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I got a question. It's a little bit more technical, nitty-gritty question about like offer and marketing message, but a little bit of context because context would be super important. It's just I work with pressure washers, so exterior cleaning, driveway cleaning, roof washing, all that type of stuff. So we're running ads for them, and that's for the residential side. Now, I always hear them mention commercial, right? They want to get into those big commercial jobs, government contracts. And so I just tested it on one of my clients. Like we have a good relationship, so I just did it for free through Quail, and I landed him 2 bids. So my question is like, do I offer that as this and put that in my marketing message? Because I reached back out to other people, and I was saying like, who already declined me. I'm like, hey, how? And now they want to like start a conversation. So it's like, does it add too much complexity? I know some people are big on just like one offer, one everything, but I think there's an opportunity here without paid ads too. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
So just to clarify, the question is, I'm reaching out to people over cold outbound. It's a different channel from what I currently run, and I'm selling a slightly different demo.
It's kind of like adding that to my offer with residential, because we can now land in commercial contracts with cold email without paid ads. Should I just go for commercial? Because at the end of the day, goal for them is big commercial project, like contracts. But we're getting decent results on the residential side. So it's like, should I go for the marketing message where they'll hit home for them? But I don't know.
And the marketing message that you feel hits home better is for commercial?
Yeah.
How much better results can you get for your clients?
It's relatively still new, but like I sent 150 emails out to property managers, and we landed 2 bids for him, and he closed one on a reoccurring. So it's still new.
Booking ratio from emails sent.
4 property
So
managers.
you booked 2 meetings on 150 emails?
No, sorry to confuse. So that was 4 property managers.
Yeah.
Like that was for the client. So we got 2 replies for those property managers.
Yeah. So you guys work with pressure washers, property managers. Then you reach out to property managers and your clients, which are pressure washers, with people, and they close. Okay.
Yes.
So you're sending emails for your pressure. You sent 150 and booked 2 meetings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Booked 2 calls. Yeah.
That's actually pretty solid. So with our outbound campaigns, we book between 5 and 25 meetings a day. And when we see a plus 1% booking ratio from new emails sent or unique emails sent to appointments booked on calendar, that's when we say, okay, double down, triple down, quadruple down. It's actually really solid. Most people that run email campaigns will struggle to get a point fill. And a 50% close rate on that means that they're pretty qualified. So I guess the only question is, if you were able to scale that up and send 10,000 emails for a client, and you kept similar stats, call it a 1% booking ratio, how much better would you be able to perform in terms of return on total dollars spent on for your client if you were doing ads versus outbound?
I mean, I honestly think, outbound, because these are suits, so it's like a 6-month contract for them.
Yeah.
And it's like they could be up to like $60,000 contracts. And that was only with that was only 68 emails open. So my open rate was terrible because like I said, it was just a test. So I scraped on Apollo for these property managers just to test it out. And that was 68 emails opened.
Okay.
So
I guess my only question to you is, if you think you're going to get better results, why are you even asking me this question?
Should I offer stack it though? Like residential?
You can offer stack it. If I was you, the way I'd start is, you have an existing client base, right? How many clients do you have? 5. So just reach out to all 5 clients, give them a shout and say, hey, this is what we did for this other client. I think we'd fucking kill it with you. I need X amount for a setup fee. I'll even guarantee it back to you. So if I don't make this money back, we'll just continue working for free on your outbound strategy until we hit it. In terms of return on investment, you'll probably be able to bring in another 5K minimum or 10K to your business. Just sell them on $2,000 packages and just be like, look, man, 1 deal closed, you're good to go. I sent 150 emails. This other guy, he closed the deal. So not only would he pay this back, but call it a 5K deal, he paid it back 2 times over. I can send 1,000 emails for you, and we'll make this happen. Add $10,000 to your business top line this month, get a couple really great case studies with 5 clients. Once you know it works, stop fucking spending from the front end and just start running it. Thing two is from an offer perspective, this is going to help all of you guys. If you think about it 2 different ways, one, who am I selling to? What am I selling to them? You all probably know who that is. And Stefan, if he's on this call, has probably done a lot of good work for you guys, niching down. If you know those 2 things, now you have to pay attention to where those leads are: Instagram, YouTube, Google, potentially on email. You know where they're at, LinkedIn. Choose a channel where they're going to be now multiple channels. So for example, pressure washers might spend time on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and email. So how do I choose which channel? The channel, especially if you're a lead gen agency, this is going to work best. You want that channel to be the same channel that you're going to use to scale. Great example, friend of mine, Ben. He works with our email outbound team, $500,000 a month with his outbound agency. His target demo, like you, agency owners that need more leads. So he does it through cold outbound, and he says that you can fraction of the cost of ads, a much higher closing rate and show rate, because these people have a lot of pain if they're booking meetings with a guy on a phone or on Met before. So how does he do his sales process? The same way that Kybax does his on ads. He sends emails to agency owners. The agency owners book a call with him and ask him how Ben is going to generate them another $100,000 in recurring revenue. And he says, the same way that you booked a meeting with me, I'm going to book a meeting with your clients for you. And then they're like, well, I don't know if it's going to work. And he's like, well, you can look at the hundreds of case studies we have, because we sign a new client every day in a $15,000 program. Or you can just take a look at my fucking calendar and see the 500 meetings that my team booked this month that are all goes as well. And then check out my Stripe with $500,000 for the last 30 days. You still think it's not going to work? It's the easiest sale ever, because the prospect understands exactly how their clients are going to feel as they go through because they just went through the whole process and got sold that way too. So it's like a self-selling proposition. You guys search up scale clients from Kybax. He runs this automated appointment funnel. There's nothing special about it at all. It's just a fucking book a call funnel and ads for agencies. When you come through the funnel, book a call funnel with ads by using a book a call funnel with ads. And he's like, if you don't think it works, here's my calendar. I'll do the same thing for you. So for you, it's a really great option or you're going to run ads for your pressure washers because they spend time on both those platforms to just start selling them using the same system.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like they just did it. They got a call on a call with me, and they just did it, so it clearly works. Yeah.
Why would you not trust me now?
They did it, so yeah.
So it's why all of you guys are here, right? Dylan's one of the only guys in the space that actually scales his own fucking agencies, and then allows you to partner with people that are currently scaling their agencies. So if you don't think with you, so what the hell's going on? More inputs, more outputs.
Oh man, thanks a lot for that.
Of course.
One last question, super quick. Would you just do it on like a retainer basis or a paper? Okay.
Retainers, brokies, and you're going to kill your business if you work on retainers.
Okay.
And this is going to piss a lot of people off too. When I first started my first agency, we were on retainers. We did social media management. We worked with brands like Ferrari and fucking Michelin star restaurants, thinking that they're going to pay us a bunch of money because they're luxurious. First mistake we made, you get high-end luxury brands to work with you. They're usually the most broke because they're running on thin margins. A month, Toyota sells 2,000. Totally different kind of game. So understand your demo, first thing. Second thing, we were running on retainer. We might have made a Ferrari $500,000 in a month because somebody bought a car from our Instagram posts, but I just made $2,500 no matter how we performed. So that sucked. And I fucking hated my life because I was doing 15K a month at like a 40% margin, and I just was all day dealing with creating these brands. So how do I get out of that? Fucking fire Ferrari. First off. Second thing we did was move from a retainer model to a performance model, because I was always thinking like, how can I get a client to charge me 10K? And so all I was doing was adding more to my service, which increased the lift required to deliver service. And it was just eating into my margin. So even though I was getting paid 10K, I was still only making like just like not a really sustainable way. When I changed my mindset from how do I get a client to pay me 10K to how do I make a client $100,000 and get paid 10% of what I make them, then the whole thing changed overnight. So if you guys know Alex Hormozi, which is a great example of a good offer, right? How many of you guys typically have clients stay with them and then churn after that? It's okay to be honest. Probably a lot of you. It's like the biggest pain in the ass. How do we stop that from happening? Well, the reason why clients churn after 3 months is because they're seeing 25 of their business, not know how much, and then also feel like shit if there is a lot coming back, because they're still paying you 10K and they know that they can do it themselves. It doesn't really feel like a good relationship. So to share the risk and to make sure that they don't feel like they have to churn after 3 months, you run the Hormozy offer, which is also what RSC does, and a lot of you guys ended up buying into here. And that's, we're going to do a 3-month program, and that's going to include your setup, and it's going to include a guaranteed result, right? And that guarantee is going to be based on an average of all the clients you've serviced. So if I know for a fact that all the clients I've serviced over the last 2 years, whether that's 5 or 100, I've been able to add $25,000 to their business, I'm going to take that, I'm going to divide it in half, and I'm going to guarantee half of the average performance of all of our clients that I'm going to be able to hit at a high rate with success. And also it's an easy sell. Like, not like, oh, only a few of your students do this. It's like, no, this does this. And it's only 50%, it's 50% lower than what most people do on average. So even if you're a bottom performer, we're going to make this happen for you. So you charge them, do it, pay in full. So what Ben does with his agency is very similar. He'll say it's a 5K retainer, or it's a 7.5K retainer if you want to pay month over month. Or you can pay me for the first 3 months, entirely done for you all at once. We'll call it 15K instead of, or 22. So it's an incentive for the pay in full, or we do the split pay program, which is basically just a 3-month retainer, but it's actually just split pay on a 3-month program. See a result that's going to make sure they can pay that back. So what RSC does, great example, 6250 will make you back 25K. And if you don't, you get your money back. And that's based on student results. So what Ben does is you pay me 15K, I'll guarantee you $1,000 in new client revenue. And if you don't, I'll pay you your money back. So results-based guarantee on a 3-month program, super easy to hit. Like for example, if Ben did 3 clients at a finer over a 90-day period, sending 5,000 emails a month, it's like super fucking easy, guarantee hit. You got 15K in the bank. And then after that 3 months, no retainer, just performance. So you guys get everything you need. If you can hit with it and you get good results for them, which you probably, because it's a productized service, you'll be getting paid month over month on a big fat performance retainer. So if you guys perform my team 5K, they will set up everything for you, funnel, ads, revenue ops, CRM, pay us anything ever again. After that, I want 15% on every deal we close, because the revenue there wouldn't exist without me. By month 3, we were charging $78,000 in performance fees a month. But if I instead asked Papa for $2,500 a month retainer, he'd probably be like, shit, I don't know if I want to do that. And I would be getting paid as much if I hit. So one client agency doing more than most people do 20. So moral of the story is 3-month program. If people are churning after 3 months, just make sure they pay for the 3 months and propose it as, instead of like a retainer, it's a pay in full, and make sure they feel like there's a risk remover so that what they pay you is almost zero risk when you guys share that risk. It's not like a retainer where they have all the risk because you're just rinsing their card on Stripe every month. Use that as a way to get their card down on Stripe. Make sure you have your attribution done so that you know how many sales are coming through. Send them the reports, be fully transparent with them. And then after month 3, you're charging on performance. There's no agreement that you're going to work for free until you hit results, because it's already after you've hit your guarantee. And then you can just charge their card based on your performance agreement, right? So you're not like chasing them for cash because it's already on Stripe. And if you don't hit it and they don't want to work with you anymore, you stop and you charge the next person for 15K up front, or you keep going and the relationship is really good because they feel like every dollar you make them, they should just be paying you anyway, because without you, none of that revenue would exist in the first place. So even if they're running on a 10% margin, it still makes sense, because that's a 10% or $10 out of every 100 that wouldn't exist without you. Because if they just pay you 10K a month, they feel like every dollar that comes into their business, they own, and they're just paying somebody 10K a month and it feels like shit. So if you look at a lot of the most successful agency owners out there right now, all the guys that I see doing over multi-six figures a month, save for maybe one or my roommate being one of them, none of them are running on retainer models. They're all running on performance models, and it makes your team so much more dialed. Because if you guys are doing multi-5-figure a month billables for your client, then your team members, you can put on performance plans and you say, you're going to make 10% of whatever we build with this client on performance. If you got 3 team members, like a funnel strategist and CRO guy, an ads guy, and maybe a customer success manager that are running on that account, you can give them 30% of your performance fee and run on a 70% margin. And their income grows with the results they provide for your clients, as opposed to being like a fixed per client amount. And so they can stay with your team longer, get really excited about delivering results. And then they're going to stay up until 4 in the morning grinding on an ad account, wondering why. So that's
Real quick to add to that, quick question. Do you recommend the same thing in the real estate niche? And if so, since the sale process is a little bit longer in real estate, I've been told to offer a 6-month contract.
Yeah.
So is it like a pay in full for the 6 months and then like 20 or 30% after that, or?
Tell me how your offer works. Like, what do you actually do for your clients?
So right now I'm pretty new in the niche. I only have like 2 free trial clients. But for the other one, instead of free, just wanted to hop on a pay per close. And then I have another one that wants to sign on tomorrow for 750 initial. I mean, this is like super cheap, but 750 area lock with initial setup or whatever, and then 20 commissions on every close.
Okay, so you're helping realtors close estate deals, correct?
Well, getting them lead gen, basically, yeah.
Okay, and is there is the result that you're promising to them, or like setting, I'm getting you leads or I'm closing you deals?
Deals, 5
in 6 months. Okay. And right now contract?
No, it would right now. So I was talking to Dylan the other day, and I was running like 4,500 for 6 months, and he's like, well, to get more testimonials and more clients through the door, just do like half off. So make it look like it's 5, charge 2,500 for like the next couple clients until like 2-3 months from now you actually have those, and then you can charge like even higher.
Yeah, so I would do a 6 month. Because one thing that I hate is when people come to me and say, you're locked into a contract to pay me month over month, because I'm getting stolen from, and get locked in for 6 months. And then on the billing date, the first thing I'm thinking is, how do I cut my expenses as a business, right? So you have to overcome that hurdle with a client every month if they're on a retainer. Whereas if you just get it all paid up front, you only have to overcome, and after that, it's just like, it's done. And they're happy with everything you're doing for them. So the way out case studies, lower your cost. Estate, especially with what you're doing over a 6-month program, if you sell one house at $2,500, fucked. So call it, I helped sell over $1.5 million in real estate in exchange for $2,500. The returns on that, if you market that right, are insane. So you really need 1 or 2 hits, right? Commissions on a $1.5 million property are going to be around 2%, 2.5% in the realtor's pocket. That's multi-5 figures, right? So take a look at what they made from that deal. Maybe you hit over a 6-month program with one of your other clients, 2 or 3 deals total closed. They cover ad spend, but they pay you $2,500 up front plus your performance fee. It's not the best, but you're still making money because it's probably just you and one other guy. So on the front end, you make cash. And if you keep selling new people, the only additional lift for you delivery-wise is running ad accounts, which is not going to be too bad. After about a month or 2, you should be at a place where you can say at least 1 or 2 of these clients have closed a full deal. So say that I made, as a result of paying you $2,500, forget the ad costs. You don't have to include that in your messaging. 4x my investment in 30 days. Great. Now what happens if I do that for 6 months? I make 10K a month on average from your service, and I paid you $2,500 a month. I make 60K. That's a ridiculous return. So now that you know that data, it's like I'm undercharging like crazy. Even if you have 1 client hit, that's all it takes. So then you change that program to, hey, over the next 6 months, I will work with you, and I will guarantee that I bring you 30K through the door from new real estate deals closed. Here are some of the inputs. You pay them, they pay you once, and they pay you $15,000. You're going to double your money over the next 6 months. With me, you are going to cover ads, but what you pay me is going to get doubled. I guarantee that. And then you start showing them case studies of people that are doing like 5, 10x better than that, because it shows that you're not guaranteeing something that's like, and then you still charge your 20% performance fee. So
is that 20? Is it like paying full for the 6 months, and then after the 6 months, it's 20%?
Paying full for the 6 months.
Makes sense.
And then if they like, realtors might not be able to afford like a 15K package for 6 months. So then you can do like a split pay. So a split pay over 3 months. It's the same thing as a retainer, but it's just framed a little bit different. And then in your contract, if you have a guarantee, just make sure that you say fees. And if you don't, so go ahead.
The full pay we're charging.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that, by the way.
Of course.
And another thing Dylan was mentioning is, when offering a run guarantee in the messaging, it helps come out better than rather than saying, we'll work for free until we get you there. Yeah. Because it shows them it's like no risk on you.
Yeah.
One thing I have in mind, because I'm kind of new in the industry, and my coach kind of helped me decide to say 5 deals in 6 months. I haven't gotten that yet, so my belief in getting that isn't fully 100% there.
Yeah.
I see, obviously, you probably heard of Estate AI. I mean, they're doing like multiple deals within 6 months for other people, but I mean, they've been in the industry for a while, so they got their service delivery down, plus they got coaching and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
thinking about it like as a new real estate agent or new real estate agency guy offering lead gen, what do you suggest in terms of, feeling okay? Like if I charge someone, let's say $2,500, but I also got living expenses, if I, pay for rent or pay whatever with their money that's on a money back guarantee, like what do you suggest? Like,
Offer,
I don't know.
make an offer that's a little bit easier to hit. Bro, 5 closed deals in real estate is almost 6 figures in commissions, depending on where you're selling. That's a lot of money. Most realtors won't even go a year without selling that. So like that's like a fuck you offer. But it's also a fuck you offer if you can generate somebody $10,000 in the next 3 months and they only pay you $2,500. So why don't you take it away from the number of deals they close and put a dollar amount on it? Because then it's easier to understand. And then for you, you have less pressure because you only have to close 1 deal for them. And then from there, you can start increasing your guarantee. Like what Estate AI does so well is they probably charge a really big fee up front. And also they can afford to pay for more qualified clients. And both those things compound. So that are already doing 5 to 10 deals every 6 months or 12 months that have cash on hand can really go hard on ad spend. So if you're going to go hard, I can provide you 1,000 leads in the next 6. Of course, one of those is going to close. In their minds, they're also making an easy guarantee to hit. If you're newer and you don't have the robust service system, then just change the wording of it and digestible and make a zero risk offer, no brainer. But you don't have to lose sleep at night worrying about if you're going to deliver on it.
Should I, based on what you said, should I change it to 3 months? Like I'll get you 10 grand in 3 months, or your money back?
Yeah, or 10 months. And like, if you told me you're going to give me 10 grand in 6 months and I have $2,500 plus ad spend, I'm not problem with that. Even if it's sick, I'll make it back in 6 months. I won't get a deal closed in 6 months that have 10K in their bank. Okay. The average realtor never closes a deal. More than 9 in 10 realtor licensed, but never close a deal. So if you can go to all those 9 in 10 people in 10K, they're going to be frothing at the mouth to get it. Plus, they're also going to love you if you get it through the door. And then you just have to slowly scale the price of your offer, the ability for you to deliver and all that based on the case studies. You're going to have to keep stack brokerages. But you don't just like go to brokerage level because you don't have the ability to pay for that kind of.
That makes sense.
But also believe in your fucking self, man. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You're here
100%. Yeah. For sure. Thank you for help, man.
Yeah. When was the last time, or have you ever put yourself in a position where you're forced to sink or swim?
I think scared shitless, but I was like, I already booked an appointment, so I'm just.
Shitless, but if you didn't feed yourself and been home.
No, not necessarily. I'm at the position now,
like
honestly.
Right now?
Right now, yeah.
Okay, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Myself in that position every single year of my life since I dropped out of university. And every time I've been in that position, I've 5x'd my whole book. It talks about the true masculine is mission driven, but it also, you will live at your edge. And if you're not living at your edge, you're going to become a fucking lazy couch potato that spends all day jerking off watching porn. Basically. Do not let yourself do that. Okay? If there's one thing I can tell you as somebody who's done what I've done, is that if you put yourself at your edge and you feel like you're going to die, you never will. There's this intrinsic fucking motivation that's like biologically coded into you that means you will not die no matter what happens. You'll always figure it out. So if you're scared of launching an offer because you think that 6 months from now you're going to have too many refunds, you're not going to be able to pay your rent, that's $2,500, coming from the wrong place. Just launch the fucking offer. You're going to figure it out. You'll probably make more money in the next 30 days than you've made in your entire life. But like, put yourself consciously in positions where you have to sink or swim, and you'll always swim. If you took a fucking baby and you put them in the water, they'd probably figure out how to fly. I'll be honest, right? So don't be afraid to do that.
Sounds good. Thank you, bro. And one last quick question regarding service delivery, if I can ask.
Yeah.
So the other client that wants to come on tomorrow, so I had one sales calls with him, super chill guy, another follow-up yesterday, and then like hopefully the last follow-up tomorrow where I can actually sign him and close him. He's the guy he wants to do 750 initial and then 20% on every closed deal. So it's like starting pay per close, it's not a pay in full or anything. but he's in like LA, Hollywood, Beverly Hills area, and he said his average home price is $1 million. And for my client in Orlando and Arlington, like the average leads cost, what I tell them is anywhere from like $3 to $10 for buyer leads. And for LA, I've never done ads for an area like that. So should I be running like buyers ads? Should I be running sellers ads? What can I expect the CPL to be? Because he wants to do, right? I'm telling him to do $30 a day in ad spend. But yeah, any words of advice there? Because if I sign him on tomorrow, I want to make sure I can at least deliver. Because if it's average million and he gets 2.5%, that's 25K for me and 5K for me. I mean,
Right.
25K for him and 5K for me.
Yeah. Nice
Sorry,
deal.
I got that messed up for a second. Yeah. So I'm super excited, and he's worked for maybe you know Brian or something Conan. Is it Brian Conan?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right.
Like the TV show guy, and he's been in media, and his Instagram has like 24,000 followers. He's like an entertainer guy, but also a real estate guy. So it's huge for me because it could open up a lot of doors of networking and stuff like that as well. But I'm a little bit worried about the service delivery side. So any words on that?
So the delivery side, you're just worried about results in the ad account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with $30 a day, do I run buyers? Do I run sellers?
So because I don't run a real estate agency, nor have I ever, I'm not going to be the one to tell you exactly how to run that account. The person that will be able to tell you how to run that account is Rayon and Ishmael. So Stefan, maybe we can put him in contact quickly with those two.
Bro, you forget I'm in real estate as well, bro. Come
Oh
on.
shit, really? Okay,
Oh,
well,
really?
Get in there. What are you doing? You're sitting there like you don't know what you're talking about.
We all run a company together. Okay. Well, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, Adib, is what I tell everybody else is what sport do you play? And if you're someone who talks to me often, you know exactly what I'm gonna say. What sport do you play?
Basketball?
Basketball. Okay, when you first played basketball, were you any good?
No,
No, how'd you get better?
but practicing and playing.
Okay, we're not gonna sit here and fucking get better by, watching some random YouTube video and we get better by doing. Okay. Now granted, of course we want to be like, well, Stefan, that's stupid. I want to know what I'm doing before I get into it so I don't fuck it up. Of course, right? But you have two other clients. Now, granted, I can't tell you exactly what the CPL is gonna be in the link CTR and the conversion rate in Hollywood, Beverly, in this area with this kind of people. Okay. If I could, I'd be a fucking trillionaire. Fortunately, I can't do that. Okay. What I can tell you is best practices and other things. Okay. Now, in the spite of this call, what I'll do is I will are you in Slack?
Yeah.
Okay, I will shoot you a message in there, alrighty, and then I'll text you in there, and then you can ask me a question there. I'll send you a Lumen, I'll give you everything I know, and then I'll also loop in Ishmael Maran and get them to give all our best practices, and then you can take that, run with it, and see some crazy good results.
This is one of those
Thank
sink
you
or
so
swim
much,
moments.
Yeah, literally.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you both. I appreciate it.
I'll tell you a story as well. Might give you a bit of help. When we first started working with Pop's company, we entered a market where there was no competition because nobody else had finished a product yet. We were selling homes to people that would never see the homes ever through cold ads. You told me that was going to work, I would have laughed at your fucking face. Started running ads, 112x ROAS first 30 days. Holy shit. $15,000 a month, or $1,500 a month in spend in the first 30 days, 78K in spend day 90 a month, right? So if I just said no, never would have happened, but we just fucking figured it out. And the craziest thing is that I have a bunch of friends that run agencies that do lead gen specifically. They're fucking crazy at it. They help run lead gen for guys like Ty Lopez and fucking God only knows. I was calling them up and saying, hey, do you want to run this offer? Because I don't want to do it. Go blow my dad's company up. They're running away with their tails between their legs because they didn't know if they could do it. Right, fuck you, I'll do it myself. So you'll figure it out. You'll get the deal closed. Just make it a priority, make it happen. Anybody else? If not, I have one more thing that might change your life.
Yeah, I have a question, I think.
Go for it.
Yeah, so right now I'm at the point where appointment setting is no longer a problem, I think. I have like 5 to 7 appointments every day through like ads and just DMs. I'm pretty bad at sales still, but I mean I will get better over time, I guess. The problem is that right now my lead quality is like only new agents. I'm in the insurance niche, so I'm only getting like new agents most of the day.
Yep.
And I'm partnering up with a guy who in 6 months scaled to 300,000 a month with an insurance agency.
Yep.
So, I mean, he knows what he's doing. But what type of offer would you run in, I mean, with this type of resources, for someone the fuck up, even if they are new?
Same thing I said to Adib. Look at, like, you've been in the space, your buddy's been in the space, you're partnering up with him. You guys have a lot of client data. You have a lot of case studies that you can leverage. Figure out what kind of things you can deliver for them. Divide that and charge it on a PIF program. And then the reason why you're speaking with unqualified leads is because you're not being aggressive enough in your messaging. And I've made this mistake so many times where I'm optimizing for cost per showed call or cost per lead. And then I get on a call with a bunch of leads that like would never be able to buy. So what happens is I end up speaking with 20 leads at $20 CPL. And I close one of them and it's like, fuck, that's terrible. And they're like barely able to pay me any money. And the biggest pain are just like blowing me up in Slack all day. And I'm like, can you just leave me alone and let me deliver my results? Fuck you. But they won't because they just spent the last $2,500 on you. So you change up your mindset a little bit, work from the top down, and act differently to everybody else you're trying to compete against by disqualifying really fucking hard on your messaging. Be willing to spend 4 times more or more on your cost per lead. And you'll be closing at a 50 to 60% rate with the right offer. And they'll be paying you 5 times more money. But it's scary to do that because you know you're going to have to spend more money in the front end to get those leads through the door. But what you don't know is that you're like literally right around the corner from a 4 times higher average contract value and a 3 times higher close rate because to buy. And those motherfuckers are going to sit in your Slack and they won't ever message you. Because to be honest, for them, like 5K is like buying breakfast sometimes. It's just like, okay, we'll do it. I don't expect it to work. And if it does, it's a win. If it doesn't, it's just another thing. But the guys who you service right now, because they're so fucking broke, they're betting the farm on you, man. If you don't deliver for them, you feel like shit, and they will never stop messaging you. But if you don't deliver, pays you 5K, you'll be like, look, man, it's okay. Happens. So just be willing to pay more for your leads and like optimize for deeper down the funnel. Optimize if you can for your cost per acquisition, right? Optimize for a cost per showed call maybe. And if you're really smart and you're running ads, you're going to take that data and upload it to Facebook as offline data, right? So offline conversions, take the data from your CRM, like high level or whatever you're using, mark all your calls as showed, and make sure that anybody who's disqualified is getting disqualified before you mark them as a showed call. Take that data, feed it back to Facebook so they know who's qualified, and let Facebook fucking optimize your accounts for you for showed qualified calls. It'll get better and better and better and better. Don't go to Facebook and say, oh, I'm plugging a pixel into my landing page and I'm going to have it optimized for leads opt-ins. Fuck that shit, man. You're going to end up with the worst leads ever because it's going to optimize for cheaper and cheaper leads, which are cheaper and cheaper people. You should be optimizing for more expensive people, but cheaper cost per show qualified call. Or better yet, cheaper cost per acquisition. Always optimize for cost per acquisition. So the best place to go for offline data is going to be probably cost per show. And you can figure out how to set that up just by searching up YouTube, just like how to connect offline data from Google Sheets to Facebook, and then Facebook will automatically optimize.
Okay, but right now the leads that I have shown from ads are like literally that kind of people, like just new agents. Literally not even a single
Yeah,
guy
so
doing
change your
more than
messaging
10,000.
first. Like
Yeah.
whatever you consider a qualified lead, where there's like, are you an agent that's already closed two deals in real estate? If you are, then this is what I can do for you, right? Like, or only 4 real estate agents that have closed over $1 million in deals in their career. Here's my offer. And then on your form, make sure that you say, actually get the opt-in before the form. And then when they fill the form out, make sure on the form it says, how many deals have you closed in real estate? If you've closed less than 2, I will disqualify you right now. And you can set up an automatic disqualification thing that will disqualify them. And then if you want to make sure they're qualified, even after they book in, because people lie all the time, call them. Right? It's like, hey man, it's fucking Carlos. I saw your form. I've seen you close 2 deals. I speak with a lot of people, our team does at least, that lie on those forms. Just want to make sure you have, because our service just won't work for you if it doesn't. And I'm here to get really good results and not have to have you stress out about them. So as long as that works, I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, great. Book them in. But don't be afraid to change your messaging on the fly who your ICP is. The more they're going to be able to push shit leads all the time. Marketing to everybody versus marketing. Sorry, marketing to everybody is marketing to nobody. Marketing to one person is marketing to everybody. And make sure that one person you market to, all the people that are below them that you could still sell to want to be like them. So it's like if you're running a coaching program and you want to sell to people that are scaling other coaching programs, are you going to market to the guys that don't have a coaching program and you want to scale them up from zero? Because if you do, all the guys who are doing 100K plus a month in coaching aren't going to come anywhere near you because they know that you're not going to be able to provide them value. Or do you market to the guys that are doing over 6 figures a month in coaching programs that can afford to pay your 10K setup fee? Because if you do, then you'll catch with the guys who are doing 6 figures, and you'll also talk to the people that are doing 0, and those people might slip through your pipeline and they might still pay you because they still see the value. So choose one person, market to them exclusively, and make sure that it's somebody who everybody else in your market wants to be like. And you'll still market to everybody, but you also won't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean my current offer is like taking an insurance agent from just like a regular agent to being like an agency. So that's kind of like how I'm presenting my offer, building an agency with AI. So I get why I
So
make
that's
it
the
a
message
lot
that's
of
fucking
like
you up.
random.
Let me show you guys this. This is gonna blow your mind.
Okay.
Oh, Stefan, can you give me?
What the fuck was Noah watching? We just expose them. Who got that?
What was I
Someone
watching?
clip that shit.
Oh, this is for my next YouTube video. I'm gonna show up with a balaclava. Okay,
Done,
check this
bro.
out. You guys all know this motherfucker. Okay, 2 most popular videos. First one, what I did for 3 weeks to make $23,000 a month with my SMMA. 55,000 views. Number 2, beginner SMMA sales call, $500 close. 41,000 views. Multiple 6-figure returns from leads closed from this video. Maybe 5 figures from this one. Same number of views. Why? Look at the fucking title. Everybody who hopped on here, sorry, I know this call is being recorded, but was broke and was not a problem. It's just the wrong. I, as an agency owner who's done over 6 figures a month, cannot relate to this. I would never watch this call because I don't want to charge somebody $500. So everybody watches this as somebody who's a fucking brokey that's never done anything before. This one, 3 weeks to make 23K a month. I'm doing 6 figures. I'd like an extra 23K a month in my business. Cool. Take a look. Oh, Dylan knows what he's doing. I'm gonna opt in. Like that's the power of messaging. You change your messaging, you hit the same number of people.
How do you normally do that through an
Through which?
through an ad?
Same
That's
thing.
I mean some offers are easy to market, like building an insurance agency with AI. But maybe if I say like, oh, make $20,000 in a week, nobody's gonna believe me, right? So
Well,
how do you
they'll
do
believe
that?
you if you actually have done it before. So don't make outrageous claims that you can't back, but also make claims that actually speak to your target demo. Like saying I'm going to build a real estate or I'm going to build an insurance agency for you from scratch from zero. I'm not talking to you if I already have one. Whereas if you're going to say, I will supercharge your insurance agency using AI and help you add another $20,000 in revenue over the next 6 months. Now you're not speaking to brokies because they don't even have an insurance agency and those ads don't make sense to them. And then when I click onto the landing page, I'm going to say again, disqualify my audience. If you are not this person, do not read this landing page. Do not book a call. I will fucking disqualify you. Stay away. And the ones that do come through really want you. And so they'll still buy the service.
I see. Yeah, that's fine.
I have a question.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice to meet you. I've seen some of the videos.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm kind of in a place where I can book appointments, but I miss something Dylan and some other people tell me the perceived value of the calls I'm doing on the cold calls isn't enough for people to show up. So I'll probably I'll book like anywhere from like 4 to 5 appointments a day, and I only have like maybe at best maybe one person to show up the whole week, like so I'll probably talk to like 2 whole people the whole week. So I have like 4 to 5 appointments on my calendar. That's not counting what the other guy does. So we could probably put in like 6 or 8, but I'll
So
have
like a
like
10% show rate.
Yeah, around there. So I mean, I've closed them, but it's like, hey, I'll close like one person a month maybe one person every other month or something like that.
That's fucked. Okay.
Yeah.
So I struggled the same thing on an offer, and we had like a 30% show rate. And then within 30 days, we had 90% show rates, and they've stayed there ever since. So one thing is messaging. It's always going to be messaging. And because you guys are cold calling, the messaging is on your phone call. So the first reason why a lead won't show up is because they booked a call with you because you pressured them into it and they felt bad. Or you got on the phone with them and they felt bad for you because they know you've been cold calling all day and they just wanted to make you feel good, but don't actually want to show up because they don't have it in their heart to say no. And that comes down to messaging. The first one is the messaging that you use to book a call. So if you pressure them into booking a call, as opposed to working with them to understand their pain points for the proper discovery phase, and then book a call because they asked you to, versus I'm going to force book a call in your calendar, the former is going to show up almost all the time because they can see value of them being on that call versus just being like force booked. The second situation is understanding who you're speaking to and speaking them from a place of, thanks Braxton, speaking to them from a place of authority. So they have to know and trust that if they get onto a call with you, it's not going to be just like I'm speaking with some other 25-year-old kid who has another agency that doesn't actually know my industry but just wants to take my money. So provide them a little bit of value. If you can, read the book Challenger Sale, and it'll probably change the way you think about things. The whole thing about that book is how do we shift the paradigm on a call? So my sales strategy these days is exactly what I'm doing with you guys. And if I was selling a program or a course to you, I would be doing the exact same thing, which is I'm going to take a lot of your pain points. I'm going to give you a solution, but the solution I give you is going to be something you've never heard before, or at least framed in a way that you've never heard it before. So you say, holy shit, I like how this guy's brain works. Can I get him to do this for me? And remember that people are buying people. Yes, they might buy results, but at the end of the day, they're going to buy a person. So you guys bought a lot of this program because you like Dylan, you like the way he thinks. I want to be like Dylan. Great. Buy his program. I don't really care what the fuck's in the program, but I want to be like Dylan. Your customers are buying you as well, which is why a lot of the times they'll call you when they have problems. So make sure that you sell them on you by shifting the paradigm. Great example of this, Zach, I live with him. He runs a $300,000 a month agency in ecom. He'll get on a call with somebody, and we all know that return on ad spend is super important when you manage an ecom store. And one of the first things he'll say is, guys, I'm looking at all of your data on the back end, and your return on ad spend doesn't fucking matter. You're stressing about the wrong things. Like every agency you speak with is telling you to worry about this, and they're guaranteeing results in ROAS. I'm not even going to look at that. And then all of a sudden, like, whoa, tell me more. So that's the kind of way you have to approach your cold calls. And then people are going to be like, oh, value. And then one of the other things you can do is just bring them onto that call, increase your show rate with value. So just be like, hey, I have something I want to share with you. I'm going to walk you through it. I can't really do it on the phone. Like I want to actually be able to give you a screen share to walk you through it. Can I book you onto a call and give it to you for free? So today I booked a call with one of our leads for RSC. I was like, look, we have this thing called an OKR, and there's a Notion resource. It's got like hundreds of templates, fill in the blank copy, whatever. Hop on a call with one of our advisors, and they'll show it to you, walk you through it, and they'll give it to you for free. So even if you don't want to buy it, it's right there for you. Like, oh, okay, sick. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably show up on the call. So first thing, messaging on the front end. Second thing, indoctrination sequences. So make sure that you're sending the right case studies, email flows, and whatnot. If you don't have this, our advisors can help you with that 100%. And then last, and also reminders. So on that phone call and in your indoctrination sequences, remind them it's at this time, on this day, on a Google Meet or on a Zoom. Do it multiple times so that it's in their head because people will just forget. And then last but not least, providing value on the call and connecting that to the call. So those are the three things. You should be able to get it to 80% if you can do that right.
All right, boys, I gotta run.
I gotta run too.
No, I made you host if you're gonna stay on. But once again, Noah, thank you for jumping on here and sharing some value with all of us. We appreciate you heavily. So thank you.
Absolutely. I've got one
if
more.
You guys all haven't, go subscribe to Noah's YouTube. He literally just made a YouTube channel like a week ago. I don't fucking know his link. Go plug it. Okay, I'll go comment on the post. Everybody go subscribe to Noah. Okay, you can be there. He'll be one of the first few. And then when he gets 1 million subscribers, there you go. Adib's got it on lock. Look at that. And then when he hits 1 million, you'll know you're one of the first few. Okay. Other than that, boys, I got nothing else. Noah.
Yeah, I've got one more thing for you, Stefan. You can hop.
Peace, boys.
Okay, there's a lot less people on this call, but at least it's recorded. Okay, there's one thing that has changed my life over the last 3 years that when I first started this, it scared the fuck out of me. Every fucking day was the worst anxiety that I've ever had. I took a leap of faith. I cut my entire old life off and I started from scratch again, and that was fucking scary. Put myself in a sink or swim situation, figured it out, and then did it again, and then did it again, and then did it again. And now I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times down through the path of being able to swim. And my brain, whether there's confirmation bias or not, has now come to terms with the fact that every time I'm uncomfortable, I will figure it out and I'll probably end up in a 10 times better spot than I was before. So the thing. Now, when I'm looking 30 days ahead and I'm like, oh my God, everything's gonna fall apart, I get excited because I know what's on the other side of it, because I've been trained through confirmation bias potentially that I will fucking figure it out and it'll be better. The other side of it too. The only reason why you guys are not doing 100K a month, and you can read this fucking book 25 times and it will tell you the same thing. I read this book 3 times and I didn't really understand why it was so important. I went through the whole thing of like, oh, I'm going to write down a mantra and like fucking tell it to myself in the mirror every day. It's beside the point. You don't need to do that. The reason why that book is good is because it forces you or it pushes you to try and believe a future reality. When I was 18 years old, I was in a garage with my business partner making 5K a month, freezing my can off, working at a desk at my parents' house. And I looked over at him and I was like, dude, I can fucking feel this in my bones. When I turn 19, before I turn 20, I will have made my first $1 million. When I turn 20, I will have traveled the world. And when I turn 21, I will have moved into a penthouse. And in that penthouse, I'll have a chef and a housekeeper named Maria with an M. After that, when I turned 22, I bought my first supercar. He was like, cool, man. That's awesome. And I don't know why, but like when I said it, I fucking believed it. I believed it so much. And I kept thinking about that. I was like, oh, this would be kind of fun to do. And 6 months later, I made my first $1 million. Like, oh, shit. I'm 19. This is kind of interesting. Just kept living life. I was doing the things that made me uncomfortable. And I was, yeah, doing the things that made me uncomfortable. And just kind of letting life take me where it felt like I needed to go. So every time there was something that was uncomfortable, you guys will see this in the YouTube video. Every time there was a huge crossroad decision in my life, which was like, oh, I feel like I have to make a decision or everything's going to break, I went for the more uncomfortable one. And the reason why I did that is because when you're faced between 2 decisions and there's one that's uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable because there's a lot of change and it's different from what you currently understand. Now, recognize that the reason why that decision exists in the first place is because you made it happen. So you made a bunch of subconscious, subliminal, intuitive decisions over the previous 6 to 12 months that led you to this crossroads. And the reason why it's uncomfortable is because those intuitive decisions have been pushing you down a new path. And you've gotten so far down that path that you now are forced to either take it and make the decision or just stay fucking comfortable in your existing life. So the reason why I always take that uncomfortable path is because I've already created this for myself and I know that's what my subconscious mind wants. So I will go do it. Dropped out of university, left a business that I had scaled to 8 figures, broke up with my girlfriend of 5 years. Super fucking uncomfortable. And every time I've done it, 10 times better. So you get to these crossroads, you make the uncomfortable decision, and you run. 19 first million, scale the business to 8 figures the next year, travel the world, Dubai, Miami, every place you can think of, all over the place. I was jet set living out of a fucking suitcase. Then I realized it was time to come home, and this was just intuitive. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I took an exit from the business. I did it like a 90% discount from what I thought it was worth. And I came home. I was 20. I turned 21, living in my parents' basement, wondering what the fuck was going on with my life. And I was like, I can't get out of bed. I'm so depressed. I said goodbye to my baby. I feel like I'm starting from scratch. 21 rolls around and meet a guy named Zach. Walks up to me the second time I met him. He's like, you want to move in with me? Fuck. Okay, it feels right. I didn't know him. 4 months later, we moved into a penthouse together in Vancouver. And the craziest thing about it is that Zach, living in the basement of his old place, had a housekeeper and a chef. And her name was Ria. So at 21, I moved into a penthouse. I had a housekeeper and a chef named Maria. Didn't have an M, started with an R, pretty fucking close. About 4 months ago, 2.5 months ago, 22. Zach calls me and says, let's go to Miami. Oh, sorry. Michael, my business partner, calls me and says, let's go to Miami. I have a mastermind to go to. I was like, fuck, I'm grinding. I don't want to do this, but you know what? It feels right. So I went. As I'm in Miami, I have a flight booked to come back on Thursday. Zach calls me and says, I have a house. I'm coming down. I'm like, what? I'm about to come home and see you in Vancouver. And he's like, no, I'm coming to Miami. You're staying too. It's like, I don't want to do it. Feels right. Stay within Miami. Spent a week there. Met some fucking savages. We rented an R8 while we were down there. Blue R8, drop top, supercharged, downpiped. Ripped it around South Beach for 3 days, and we're like, man, this thing's sick. Come back to Vancouver. Sit at my desk 2 days after we get back. Zach's not at home. Like, what? Where the heck I go? I get a FaceTime call from him. He's standing in the Audi dealership in front of a brand new R8. He's like, what are the odds you do this? No. I'm buying a fucking supercar today. Sales rep drives it to my house. Hop in the car, bring it back. Zach grabs my keys and takes my existing Audi, brings it back to the dealership, gets a quote on the trade, and 2 days later I own an R8. 22 for a supercar. So everything played out. When I was 11 years old-ish, like as a kid, I was watching a bunch of these guys on Fortune 500 companies, CEOs, leading their companies and being like, fuck, I want to be a billionaire. And I want to be a billionaire by 30. And ever since then, I've believed that, and I believe it to its fullest. And these small steps are all part of it. They're all materialistic things, but they're these indicators of the next level. And I fully believe in my heart that I'm going to be a fucking $1 billion by the time I turn 30. The moral of the story is not to say, guys, I'm flexing on you. The moral of the story is the only reason why you guys aren't at 100K a month or wherever the fuck you want to be is because you don't actually believe it. You don't actually want it. And the way that you understand this is like, there's these two concepts of time not being linear, and also this thing called like quantum consciousness. I'm like weird about saying this because most people just say like, this guy's a fucking weirdo. But you can search up quantum consciousness online, and both these theories come hand in hand together. The idea is that at any given point in time, every possible reality is playing out. You can believe in infinite universe theory, you can believe in multiverse theory, you can believe in fucking quantum consciousness. I don't give a shit. The reality is that there's a 99.99999% chance to the infinity that every possible scenario is playing out. The movies you watch are real universes. You with green skin today on the call with me is a fucking real universe. That fucking exists. Okay? Time is not linear either, which means that everything exists all at once at a single point in space. You only experience it linearly because that's how we experience space-time. Now, if I believe that I'm going to be 30 and I'm a billionaire, there is actually a reality where that happens. There is a universe right now where I'm 30 years old and I'm a billionaire. The only thing that hasn't happened is that I haven't chosen to be a part of that reality. Every day, like as I'm walking right now, there are infinite numbers of me splitting off like this. And depending on the way that my thought patterns work, I will choose a reality to go be a part of. So you can hop between realities all the time. It just depends on how you think. And that's why spending time around the wrong people and the wrong content is going to fuck you up. So you choose to believe this. The only thing that hasn't caught up yet is time. So if you guys take it days and nights and months to fully fucking believe these things, you're already going to be there. And you'll already be there in this lifetime, in this reality. You're just waiting for time to catch up. The second you let doubts cross your mind, you end up in another one. And I'm telling you this because I've fucking done it. Like that story of me from 19 to 22 is not me lying in the slightest. Like that is, I get fucking goosebumps every time I talk about it. So please do yourself all a favor and believe and spend some time figuring out where you want to be and just make that part of your brain, because you will end up there. And just lean into the uncomfort, lean into the things that happen on a day-to-day basis, because your intuitive subconscious mind will take you there for you. And when you have tough decisions to make and you feel like there's a crossroads and one of them's uncomfortable, one of them's comfortable, take the uncomfortable one every time, because that is your subconscious mind bringing you to that reality. And don't set your goals small, set them big, because you'll end up hitting those goals every time. I wrote down this thing on my paper. I was like, a year ago, or 2 years ago, I'm going to make $10 million by the time January 1st, 2024 runs around. And I did, but I fucked up. One, because I didn't set the amount big enough. And two, because I wasn't specified enough. I should have said I want $10 million in cash in my pocket by the January 1st, 2024. And what happened? But instead I made $10 million with my businesses in contract value. Because I just said I was going to make 10 million, I didn't specify it. And I should have said 100. So yeah, if I can leave you with one thing, it's that. Just believe in yourself, put yourself in a reality, and let your brain take you there. And don't stress out about things because they always work out. And your brain is going to take you places that you need to be. So yeah, that's basically it. Reality transurfing, motherfucker. You guys don't have it? Read this book too. Attaboy. I can tell you watching Matt Gadget. And yeah, I kind of look like him, but I'm going to be better than him, so fuck him. Okay, boys. Anything else I can help you guys out with, or we're going to get to call it a day? Go spend a weekend transurfing realities.
That was
Bro,
really
thank
good,
you
man.
for your wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you answering everything in detail and even more. So hopefully you hop on these calls more often, man.
I will be, man. I don't know if you know, but Dylan and I merged companies, so this is just as much my company as it is his now. So
Sick.
yeah, these calls will be on regularly.
Sweet.
cr-
Sounds good.
It's crazy how that works though, right? When you're talking about like forcing to sink or swim, like
Yeah.
man, I moved out, like empty apartment, had to pay
Fuck yeah.
rent, and it's like literally had to pay rent, and now it's like finally getting my head above water because it's like, dude, if I can't pay rent if I can't.
If you guys haven't done that before, do that, because I've done that a couple times.
Yeah, I'm out in Arizona now. I moved away from Illinois just randomly.
How did you
Okay.
feel when you were like in a position where like, holy shit, I'm 15 days out the end of the month and I don't know if I'm gonna make rent?
Dude, I mean, I've never worked like that before.
Yeah.
Never worked like it was like something pushes you to do it.
How did you
Uh,
feel like when you woke up in the morning on those days? Were you like stressed out?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
every
Okay.
fucking day.
The more you do that,
And I'm still kind of like that, to be honest. Like I'm still not there yet, but finally getting my neck above water.
good. The more you do that, you're gonna crave that shit. And when you wake up, instead of anxiety, it's gonna be fire. And you're just gonna be like, yes, I'm back. I'm so back, baby.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be your new comfort. It's gonna be like this like weird, unrelenting, unadulterated peace in discomfort, and you will feel scared when you're comfortable. So you have to like flip that. Just keep doing what you're doing, you'll end up there.
for
Okay.
sure.
Boys,